Welcome to the Explainer. Now, if you hear the word economics and immediately picture stock tickers, dusty ledgers, or, I don't know, complex banking algorithms, you are certainly not alone. But today, we're going to completely rethink that misconception. Economics isn't just money counting. It's actually the hidden architecture of choice that governs literally everything, from your personal daily habits right up to the survival of entire nations. So let's rethink what you know.
I'm going to break the fourth wall for a second here and ask you a very direct question. What did you want today that you couldn't have? Maybe it was a high-end gadget, or, an extra 2 hours of sleep, or simply the superpower to be in two places at once. That exact feeling introduces what economists call the universal constraint. It's the fundamental tension of human existence where our absolutely unlimited wants violently clash with our strictly scarce resources.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover 1. The architecture of choice. 2. The evolution of economics. 3. Micro-macro, science, art. 4. The invisible price tag. 5. The engine of value. And finally, 6. Global economic systems.
All right, diving right into Section 1, the architecture of choice.
The word economics itself is actually a linguistic artifact from ancient Greece. It comes from oikos, meaning household, and nomos, meaning management. So originally, this discipline was literally just about optimizing domestic resources. Think about it. Managing a modern nation's massive wealth is essentially just a scaled-up version of balancing a family budget against competing needs. You've got a specific resource envelope and an exhausting list of requirements.
Moving right along to Section 2, the evolution of economics. Back in 1776, Adam Smith defined the field entirely around wealth, basically focusing on the giant pile of gold in the vault. But as society matured, the lens shifted. By the late 19th century, Alfred Marshall focused on human welfare. Then, Lionel Robbins in 1932 introduced the critical concept of scarcity, and a bit later, Paul Samuelson added the dimensions of time and systemic growth. So we've really moved from simply hoarding riches to a highly sophisticated focus on human welfare and systemic growth.
But the massive aha moment for the field really came from Lionel Robbins. He established the modern standard. Economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. That completely revealed that economics isn't actually about money. It's a behavioral science. Because our wants are unlimited and our means are so scarce, literally every human action is an economic decision.
Which brings us to Section 3, micro, macro, science, art.
To actually analyze the global landscape effectively, we kind of have to split our view. On one side, we have microeconomics, which gives us granular precision. It looks at individual economic units, consumers, households, firms, to figure out things like pricing and resource allocation. On the flip side, macroeconomics looks at systemic stability. We're talking national income, inflation, and fiscal policy. The crucial takeaway here is that we are clearly delineating the boundaries between analyzing individual living rooms and managing the aggregate stability of an entire nation.
Now there's another major divide in how we analyze the world, the science versus the art. Positive economics? That's the objective science dealing with facts and what is, like simply observing that an increase in taxes reduces consumer spending. Normative economics, on the other hand, is the art involving value judgments about what should be. Positive economics provides the cold, hard, objective data necessary to inform the art of normative policy design, basically figuring out how a government should actually go about fixing poverty or reducing inequality.
Okay, Section 4, the invisible price tag.
Here's the thing. Every single choice you make carries an invisible price tag, known as opportunity cost. This is the value of the next best alternative that gets sacrificed when a specific choice is made. For example, if you choose to spend 2 hours studying for an economics exam, the cost isn't just the money you spent on the textbook. No, the true opportunity cost is the football game you missed out on playing. Because your time and energy are completely scarce, you simply cannot have it all.
So how in the world do you navigate these constant trade-offs? Well, you need to build your scale of preference. This is basically a prioritized list of your wants, arranged in order of absolute importance. By creating this, you ensure that your high-priority strategic goals are never sacrificed for low-priority whims. It's a super effective tool for rational decision-making, allowing you to protect what actually matters most to you.
Section 5, the engine of value.
To build anything of real value and, avoid massive systemic waste, every single economy absolutely must resolve these 5 pillars. They have to figure out what to produce, how to produce it, whether that's through labor-intensive or capital-intensive methods, for whom to produce, how to ensure efficient resource use, and finally, how to achieve economic growth to actually increase their productive capacity over time.
To solve those massive problems, societies organize the 4 ingredients of value, known as the factors of production. Land yields rent, labor yields wages, capital yields interest, and entrepreneurship yields profit. Now, the crucial so what here is regarding capital. In economics, capital refers specifically to man-made assets like machines, buildings, and tools used to facilitate production. It's actually not just financial currency or money. But here's the catch. Having land, people, and machines is great, but they definitely don't organize themselves. Enter the entrepreneur. They are the ultimate catalyst for systemic resilience. They have this highly specialized ability to organize land, labor, and capital while assuming all the inherent risks of the venture. They're the essential visionaries who turn dormant resources into functioning, value-adding enterprises.
Bringing us to our final section, Section 6, Global Economic Systems.
Let's take a look at the capitalist economy first. This system is heavily characterized by private ownership, the profit motive, and free market competition. Neutrally speaking, this system serves as a remarkably powerful engine for driving high innovation. However, the recognized trade-offs are that it frequently grapples with significant income inequality and the tendency for monopolies to emerge over time. By contrast, we have the socialist economy. This framework relies on government ownership of production factors and central planning. The strategic prioritization here is on reducing inequality and ensuring the provision of basic needs for absolutely everyone. The neutral trade-off, however, is that this system inherently limits consumer choice and can significantly reduce those individual incentives for effort and innovation.
Which naturally brings us to the mixed economy, basically the modern global standard. A mixed economy functions as a society's collective scale of preference applied directly to its political structure. It masterfully combines the innovation-driving features of free market capitalism with targeted state intervention from socialism to provide public goods and maintain systemic stability.
As we begin to wrap this up, it's super vital to realize that economics doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It acts as a powerful interdisciplinary hub. It heavily relies on mathematics and statistics to quantify resource constraints, geography to analyze how spatial location affects production, political science to understand governance, and sociology to examine social behavior. Together, all these fields paint a full, rich picture of reality.
I absolutely love this quote. You are no longer just a consumer, you are an economic philosopher navigating a world of limited means. How cool is that? By mastering these principles, you gain advanced analytical thinking and optimized decision-making skills. You are totally empowered to use this new toolkit not just to understand complex global markets, but to navigate your very own daily life and personal resource allocation.
So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. As soon as this explainer ends and you go about your day, what is the opportunity cost of your very next decision? Every choice is an exercise in managing scarcity. Think about what you're sacrificing, build your scale of preference, and make your choices count. Thanks for learning with me today.